I'm just gonna jump right into it because that's what my channel's gonna be about from now on is story time with Bobby. All right, so I wanted to talk about this story about how I was a really smart young girl growing up, and I sorry, let me get adjusted here. And I had started going to Cherry Creek schools in Colorado, which are really good schools, good district. And I had met this girl, and I'm gonna use names, but they're gonna be made up names, okay? But yeah, so her name was Jessica Singwall, and she was a normal girl, normal American girl. Her family was pretty wealthy. Her dad was a lawyer. Her mom was a daycare by day and aerobics teacher at night. And then she had a big brother, and who was probably about 3 or 4 years older than her. And then there was her, and then they had a dog, and they lived in a really nice house and everything. And we became best friends. And I would stay the night at her house, but she wasn't allowed to stay the night at my house because I came from a single parent home with 4 girls, and we lived in an apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, and we were just not as good as them. Well, Jessica and I spent a lot of time together. We always went skating. We went just on walks in our neighborhood. We found a bird one time. We picked it up and we healed it back to health, and that was pretty neat. But we became really close, and then my family moved to the northwest side of Denver, near 52nd and Sheridan, which was a really far drive, but still, her father, he allowed Jessica to come over one time, and oh, this time was really crazy because we had stole a beer from my mom's refrigerator. And no, we stole 2 beers from my mom's refrigerator, and we went on a walk on the bike path, and we walked pretty far, just walking and talking and drinking our beer. It was the first time either one of us had drank anything, and we were in 6th grade. So, and we walked all the way, which was probably about 2 miles. But under one of the bridges, I remember we saw like blankets and a backpack, and we were like, "Cool, what's up there?" And so we went up there, and on the wall there was a Polaroid picture of a woman, naked and spread eagle and chained up to a bed, and she looked like she was crying and stuff. And we saw that, and we dropped it, and we ran, and we went back. We ran up to Federal Boulevard, and we found some gas station that had a phone, and called my mom to come get us because we were scared to walk back, and the sun was going down, and um, this was before cell phones. So yeah. Anyways, see, and now that I'm older, now that I think about it, that incident might be something that leads up to what I'm about to tell you in a little bit. So, let's see. So Jessica's dad comes and picks her up, and she goes home, and then um, I go stay the night at their house, and it was, I think, her brother's birthday or something like that. We went out to eat, and I remember this one thing that her brother said to me that made me like really confused and sad, but because I knew they judged my family all the time for being poor, and so I was biting my fingernails like sometimes I do, and he was like, "Look at her, she's so hungry. She's even eating her fingers. You don't have to eat your fingers. We're gonna go eat dinner soon." But anyways, that embarrassed me, and so we went to dinner, and then the parents went to the casinos for the night or whatever, and her brother had a couple friends over, and then Jessica and I were there, and it was time for me to go home the next day or whatever. I go home. Her dad takes me home in his drop top, his Lamborghini or whatever. Um, and we get all the way back to the north side, and like about 2 hours later, my mom gets a call, and they said, "Your daughter stole our um, diamond tennis bracelet, and it's worth 3 grand." And sh we want it back, but she's never allowed to talk to Jessica again. And if we hear about them talking, then um, they're going to call the police about the tennis bracelet or some crap. And my mom was like, my daughter didn't steal anything. She knew, like, she didn't even have to ask me. But she's like, I'll ask her just because, to, shut you guys up. And I was sixth grader. Okay, think about this. And I've never, like, stolen anything in my life at that point. And, like, when she said, her dad, and I'm like, what? They were just so nice to me. Why now? Why are they accusing me of this? And that just broke my heart. Like, I was so confused. I'm like, what is, a 12-year-old going to do with a diamond tennis bracelet? Like, my mom would notice, like, if I brought new clothes into the house, or, if I had the newest Walkman or whatever at the time, Discman that she didn't buy, because how the heck did I get it if she didn't buy it? So, and what was I going to do with the $3,000 bracelet? Like, go to the pawn shop and wait outside and have someone pawn it for me? Like, come on, dude. I didn't get anywhere unless I had my mom drive me. So how would I even get there? But it broke a part of me, like, the fact that, I was blamed for such ludicrous things. Like, um, but yeah, I just wanted to say that story there. And even years later now, now that I'm in my late 30s, and I could still tell you to this day, I did not do anything to their bracelet. And I have a feeling that first, we had strikes against my family. Like, they did not approve of gays, and my mom is lesbian. And they did not approve that we were poor. And we were quite poor. And um, they just didn't like how far they had to travel for Jessica to see me, or me to see Jessica. And yeah, that's all I could think of being the problem, because that was like the first time I realized, like, how people discriminate against other people. Because before that, I had never experienced discrimination at all against anybody because of how rich or how poor they were, or because of, you know, their parents being gay or anything like that. But that was the first time I experienced that, of many more to come. um, so yeah, I think that incident is where a lot of my future, I guess, if you want to say, insecurities, or my actions that I'll talk about later on, in other stories, where they stemmed from, because I just was so hurt and so lost of how they could do that. But all right, that's it for that story.